Hi, my name is Sarah. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I've been wanting to start, I guess, some kind of channel, not for any purpose other than to, I don't know, possibly help others maybe in my situation. Not really that I'm in a situation. I guess it's more like I don't feel like I'm normal. I don't feel like my family's normal. I feel like sometimes like I'm going crazy. I feel like sometimes like my children are absolutely crazy. I don't know. I feel like that, and then I also think to myself, there's got to be others out there. There has to be others out there like this. There has to be. There's just no possible way that it's just my family. So, with that said, this first video, I wanted to talk just about myself and my family without everybody else in it, because once I introduce you to everybody else, it's nonstop from there. It doesn't stop. It's like full speed ahead. Sometimes, some days, most days, I don't know how I do it. I don't know how I make it. I don't know how my kids make it. I don't know how they make it without me completely losing it on them. But like I said, I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not. There's got to be so many other people out there like this that feel the same way. And at the end of the day, if nothing else, maybe watching me and my family will, in a way, help somebody. Like, help somebody think, oh, maybe my family isn't that abnormal. Maybe there are others like this because I'm watching one. I hate talking about my family like that. I really do hate talking about them like that, but holy hell. Anyway, you'll see for yourself. You'll see firsthand. But let's just start from the beginning. So I am 42 years old. I've got 5 children. My oldest is 24. Actually, I'm sorry, she turned 25 yesterday. She's 25. She has a daughter. So I also am a grandmother. She's hands down best child. I thought she was horrible when she was little, but oh no. No, she wasn't. She was definitely good. She is my best friend. She's a warrior. She's been through so much. She's been through so much crap with me. She's been through her own crap, and she has come out stronger than I've ever known anybody to come out of anything. So she is a warrior. Her daughter Elise just turned 4. She's a mess. She's a handful, but I love her to death. She's a spitting image of her mother, and I know she'll be great too. So then I have got my 17-year-old daughter, Carly. She is beautiful. She's amazing. She's a very good child. She's always been very good. She's a good teenager. She's got some learning disabilities. We're working with them. She's come along so far in the past couple of years. I honestly never thought she'd get a driver's license, and she's getting her driver's license, and that's just amazing to me because God is so good. After Carly, two girls first. After Carly, I had my third, Connor. Connor is 9. And he is going to be the death of me. He will be the reason I have a stroke. probably very soon. Love him to death. Like, he was the best baby. He's the best baby. He was so good. It didn't matter what we were doing. It didn't matter if it was bedtime. He was the best baby. Cute as a button, too. So cute. Still is, but oh my god, he's rotten. He's so... I don't even think it's rotten. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just his ADHD is got the best of him. Hold on one second, because I've got to take these eyelashes off. I've had them on all day, and they're really starting to actually just come off themselves. Hold on. Okay, sorry. Anyway, Connor is ADHD. He is... There's never a perfect medium with him. It's either all or nothing. Daredevil, he will try anything. He's never broken a bone, knock on wood, but he's going to. He's going to. No question about it. He's going to break something, and it's going to be really, really broken. He's broken plenty of things in the house. He's broken doors, he's broken walls, he's broken... God, you name it, he's broke it. Like, on a daily basis, he breaks things between him and his siblings, his littler siblings. So after Connor, there's Claire. Claire is a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart, and she is a spitting image of me, which is kind of scary. She's so strong-willed. Oh my god, she's so strong-willed. She is... If she was a lawyer, if she turns out to be a lawyer, she will be arrested for arguing, probably screaming at the judge. She's just very hard-headed. She's right all the time. No question about it. She's right. And then we have got Cage is my last final child. He is... Is that horrible? Oh my god, why did I just forget how old he was? He just had a birthday yesterday. He just turned... So that means I got Cheyenne's birthday wrong. So Cheyenne turned 25 on the 24th. Cage turned 6 on... 6, he's 6. Cage turned 6 on the 25th. See where it gets kind of confusing? He turned 6 on the 25th. Last year, I'll just throw this in there, last year we celebrated his birthday on the wrong day. No excuse. None at all. The daycare administrator had to correct me and say, no, it's not Cage's birthday today, and I felt like the dumbest person in the world, but I have no excuse. Anyway, handsome little devil. He is a spitting image of his dad. His dad is gorgeous because I just think he's gorgeous. Claire and Cage have the same dad. I've been with Jason since I was pregnant with Connor, and he's been there since, well, since Connor was born, obviously. So that is dad to Connor, too. Now, Carly and Connor, Carly's my 17-year-old, she and Connor have the same dad, but he will not accept, he doesn't believe Connor's his, so he's never had anything to do with him. He does see Carly regularly, but just not poor Connor. But that's all right, because Connor's not missing out. Connor's got a dad, and Jason is wonderful. So, and then Cheyenne, I had when I was 17. I had her I had her when I was 17. That says it all. I actually married her dad when I was 17 also, and that lasted in about 4 years, and then we divorced. But that's usually how young marriages work anyway. So 5 kids, 1 grandchild, a Jason. I don't want to call him a boyfriend because we've been together so long that you really can't call him a boyfriend, but we're not married, so I've got a Jason. I love my Jason. So anyway, I am also a recovering addict. I was a heroin addict for 4 years. 4 years. I'm 9 years clean. 9 years clean from heroin. I did relapse. I relapsed actually a couple of years ago. It wasn't heroin, it was methamphetamines this time. We moved to an area after I got clean. We moved to an area that I knew nobody. It was an hour and a half away from where I had grown up. We knew nobody, and that was kind of the whole purpose of moving, so that way the access wasn't right there. Anyway, I found something else. I didn't enjoy it as much as the heroin, because that was like the devil. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. But I'm now clean again. So that wasn't really, I hate saying I was addicted to meth, because I wasn't addicted to meth at all. I used it every once in a while, like every once in a great while when I was, like up late and I had to be at work the next morning or something. They're both horrible. They're both horrible drugs. They tear people apart. They tear families apart. But heroin will. If I was not recovered, I would probably be dead, because that's just the worst drug ever. And I hate heroin. I hate heroin dealers. I feel very, very strongly about the subject. I know there's a lot of controversy about that. A lot of people think you do it to yourself. It's your own fault. You did it to yourself. There's always an underlying issue. Always an underlying issue of why somebody wants to numb their emotions and not deal with things that they have to deal with from day to day. A lot of people can't deal with things properly without medicating themselves with something. It did start out for me with a prescription opiate, and then it ended up leading to heroin when I had my painkiller taken. The doctor took it away after like 9 years, which I shouldn't have been on it for 9 years anyway, but that's neither here nor there. So I switched to that because it was cheaper and it was easier to find and blah, 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 blah. So my oldest daughter really saw way too much. She saw way more than she should have. Never actually saw that happen, but knew something was going on. She knew. And then come to find out, she was doing the same thing when she was old enough to, be out of the house, be gone, away. Teenage years, you really don't think too much when your kid goes out with friends or whatever, goes out with a boyfriend. She ended up dating this kid who was doing it, and she was constantly at his house all the time. And one night she asked if she could go there, and I said no. And I didn't normally say no, but I said no that night. And Cheyenne is the kind of kid, if you tell her no, she's going to argue. She's going to argue, and she's going to argue and argue until she gets her way. She didn't argue that night. She didn't argue with me, and I told her no. She stayed home, and he ended up dying that night. So I thank God every day that I did say no, and that she didn't argue, and that she's still here, because she ended up way worse than I had been, way worse, and for a longer period of time. And she got out of it. She got away from it for her daughter. She wanted her daughter back. She actually got her daughter taken away at birth because of that. But She worked her ass off. She worked so hard and she got her back, and she has been amazing, amazing ever since. Um, so anyway, that's kind of a little history on me. Now, current day, I am living in a small town that I also work in. I ended up getting a felony when I was using. So I was currently, or before that, I was working in healthcare. I couldn't do that anymore because I got the felony. So I ended up working at a food manufacturing plant over here. And within 2 years, I got a management position, which I was so extremely happy for. Like, I was so grateful for that. I needed that. I needed something like that so I could, I don't know, I guess feel a little bit more useful. So I've been doing that for 6 years now. And I just recently, within the past 2 weeks, I gave them a notice that I would be leaving. I didn't give them a 2-week notice because my position actually, it's going to take a while to train somebody. I deal with auditors, like, it's SQF is what it is, Safe Quality Food Auditors. I deal with FDA if they come. I do audits of the plant myself, and I handle and verify all the paperwork for the plant. It's just a lot of work to train somebody. So my last day there is May 1st. I am starting classes. I'm going back to college. I know I feel crazy saying this, like I couldn't have picked like a crazier time in my life because so much stuff is going on right now. We just moved into a new house. It's a mess back there. I'm sure you saw. There's things still packed in. Well, it's just a mess. It's a mess. So I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat it. It's just a mess. But we've got actually less space than we had before, and a lot of people in one house. So just recently, my 17-year-old daughter's ex-boyfriend now, he had been kicked out of his dad's house. At the time, we were made to believe we were snowballed. We were so snowballed by this dude. He was very deceiving. He was very convincing, and he was very deceiving at the same time. He had grown up in the foster system, and that kind of right there kind of gave me a little bit of a I don't know. I kind of felt for him for that. So we had a talk, and we decided. What are you doing? My cat is looking. I hate cats. Cats are so weird. My cat's looking into the kitchen, like sees something, and then it kind of freaks me out. So anyway, we had a family discussion, and we decided that we would let him stay with us. He would get a job, and he would just pay like a third of the bills. Like, he would help us with rent. He would help with utilities. We didn't want to make him pay like half or anything because we have way more people living here than he did. But a third of it sounded decent. And if he was going to get his own place, he would have been paying that anyway. So he ended up quitting his job before we moved here. He quit his job, and it was like he quit his job just to be with my daughter all the time. Didn't really think much at that time. He started, after we moved over here, we'll back up a little bit. He was supposed to pay like part of all the costs of like moving, like U-Haul, moving in, turning water on, turning, stuff like that. And he ended up paying, I shouldn't say nothing. He did pay $150 of the deposit for the water, but other than that, he paid nothing. He got his own U-Haul, but we had already gotten like 3 before that, and he had used them also. So anyway, didn't really think too much of it then. We moved into this house, and after we told him, after we get everything moved in, then you'll have to look for a job in town here. I got him a job with me, actually, at the place I work. So he started showing me signs of like like being really controlling and just doing kind of weird things. And so we kept our eyes open. I guess we were keeping our eyes open at this point. We had like 5 major rules that we did not want broke. We did not want them eating outside the kitchen, because when we moved in here, there was a couple of nasty bugs that we saw. And being part of the pest control at the place I work, I knew what to do to get rid of them. Like I said, there wasn't but a couple that we saw, but anyway, they're gone. We got rid of them. But I also know that when you have them, it's usually because somewhere nearby has them. So in order to not get them back, I did not want people eating outside the kitchen. Jason didn't want people eating outside the kitchen. That was one of the rules. And that was just like, that's such a small little rule. We didn't want him smoking pot in the house. Pot is legal in Illinois, but he was only 19, and it's not legal at that age. So, get out of here. We didn't want him smoking pot in the house. We didn't want him smoking pot around our kids, obviously. We did not want, what else was one of the rules? No eating down, they lived in the basement, is where they lived. They had a room in the basement. No eating down there, no smoking pot in the house. What's the other one? Okay, anyway, I can't think of one of them, but the other one was no growing pot in the house, because he was saying to my daughter before we moved that he wanted to grow a pot plant. So we made that clear right away. No, it's not going to happen. Like, we're not growing pot in the house. So anyway, he deliberately, oh, I know what the other one was. We didn't want him bumping his music. Like this is a family. We have little kids. We have neighbors. We didn't want him. He's got all these speakers and like all these amplifiers, and he just played rap music and hard rock and like any kind of like really loud music you can think of, and it like made the house shake. And if he's here at like 12 o'clock during the day and he wants to listen to music for like, a little bit, whatever, I don't care. We weren't home. The kids weren't home. Normally neighbors aren't home that time of the day. But don't play your music at like 9 o'clock at night. Don't play your music at 5 o'clock at night like that. This is not a party house. We didn't want it. Don't do it. He deliberately, one by one, broke every single rule. So every time he would break one, we would call him out on it and remind him, this was one of our rules. And he was always so sorry. And, oh, I know, I'm so sorry. So the very last straw was we found a pot plant downstairs. So we said, you know what, dude, you gotta go. You gotta go. You've broken every single rule we've made, and you gotta go. So he packed a bag and he walked down the road to his step-grandmother's house. And he told his step-grandma that we had bugs crawling everywhere in the house, we had no food in the house for the kids, that we were a danger to our kids, that there was heroin and meth being used in the house, and his grandma called DCFS. So we had a caseworker at our door 2 days later. Well, hold on, I'll back up one more time. So that same day, feeling horrible, I called him back and I said, listen, you can come back. I got you a job with me. You're going to start Monday. We're going to give you 4 weeks of making paychecks. Like, you keep like $75 out of each one for you for things that you need. But the rest of it, he was going to hand to Jason Jason was going to put it up for him, obviously. In 4 weeks' time, he would have had plenty of money to get his own place, plenty. So that was the plan. He was going to work for 4 weeks while he stayed here still. And then after that, he had to find his own place, because it just wasn't working. It wasn't working, and it was just the best thing. So anyway, we let him come back that day. But while he was gone, he ran his mouth, and he completely lied to his grandma, which he lied about so many other things before that. It's not a big surprise that he lied. But anyway, caseworker comes to the door. She starts telling us the allegations, and we just knew who it was, because number one, we don't have company, we don't have anybody here, nobody else knew that whenever we moved here that we did have a couple of bugs, that like we didn't even move our stuff in when we saw these. Like, we stopped moving everything, like put a halt to it and sprayed, waited 2-3 days, sprayed again, and then moved in. So we had no bugs. Like, there was not one bug you could find here. Cabinets were obviously stocked with food. Our kids always complain they're hungry all the time. That's because, number one, well, they always told him they were hungry because he knew that he hid snacks downstairs. Say you're hungry, you get a cookie, you're going to say you're hungry again the next night. So anyway, they found out, that the bug situation wasn't true. They found out the food situation wasn't true. Now, as far as being a danger to our kids, they had to pull each kid in one by one and talk to them. Asked us about if any of us were on medication. I told them I was on Suboxone. I was a recovering heroin addict. Right there, red flag. So we are now undergoing weekly drug tests, and DCFS investigators done. The state's attorney didn't want to pick anything up because there was really nothing to pick up. Besides the fact that I have a history, a past, whatever, everybody has a past. So we are just, now we have a social worker, I don't know what she is, from a agency coming every week, it's kind of like a step down, I guess, from DCFS. Like, we're going to watch you for like a year, 6 months to a year, just to make sure there's no warning signs that you guys are a danger to your kids and there's no drugs being used in the house, yada, yada, yada. Whatever. It is what it is. He's an idiot, and this really disturbed our lives, for the time being, but we'll get through it, because we get through everything, and it'll just make me more crazy, but whatever. So we made him leave that night. We made him leave. He had to leave. He walked around this town that we live in now. He walked around for, like, I think he said 3 or 4 days. Just, he had nowhere to go. I did not care at that point. I did not care. I had no sympathy at all for this kid. He was a liar. He was deceiving. He was telling my 17-year-old, after we had kicked him out, finally kicked him out, he was telling my 17-year-old that he wanted her to come with him because she was, this was a dangerous place, like, she had to get out. He was worried about her. He was trying to brainwash her is what he was doing. So we gave him, he ended up moving back to California. He lived in California before that, but he ended up moving back there. All of his stuff was here, everything, like his car, everything was here. So we gave him X amount of days to either have somebody come get his stuff, or we were selling it all, and we ended up selling all of it. He had signed his car over to my daughter before he left, because he knew there was nothing he could do with it. So that was taken care of. Anyway, here we are today. We probably have, another 6 months, 7 months of in-tech services, or whatever it's called, coming weekly. Nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. We're not doing anything wrong. Our kids are healthy. We don't beat our kids, even though, God, some days I'd love to. But we don't. That's the point. We don't beat our kids. We don't do drugs. We've never ever had drugs in this house ever, except the pot he was growing downstairs. It's just very frustrating. It's a very frustrating subject, especially when you were trying to help somebody. You thought you were trying to help somebody. So, in the middle of all this, I am quitting my job to go back to school. And I am going to get a part-time job I'm hoping with a lady I know uptown at a hotel. Just maybe 2 or 3 days a week, cleaning rooms or something. I don't know, but my my Jason, my Jason is a security guard. He is working like crazy right now. He's working 12-hour shifts. He's got like 4 12-hour shifts a week and then like two 8-hour shifts. So he's working his butt off. So either way, we're going to survive. He's actually thinking about going back to the steel refinery in Granite City, Illinois. This is Illinois we live in. Don't move to Illinois ever. But he wants to go back there because it's a lot more money, but it's just so much less, like less family time, like less seeing him. He's gone all the time, and it really, really stinks because he worked there before, and it was horrible. But anyway, we really want to buy a house next year, so we're trying to get our credit built up. We're trying to do all this right now and hoping it works out. Anyway, so my goal with this whole channel, I want to just have like I say I want to do a post a day, just kind of like a diary maybe type thing, but like not just me all the time. Obviously, I'm gonna film my kids. I'm gonna film like things that go on in my zoo, because this is definitely a zoo, I feel like. And that way maybe it can make somebody feel a little bit more normal, because being alone in a situation where you feel like you are the only person in the world that has a family like this is kind of lonely. But maybe I can, make some friends that we could support each other or something. I don't know. I say I want to do like a post today, but me myself, like I'm also ADHD, and I can't really commit to much, like as far as like plans. I'm gonna do this every day, or I want to have this done by this time, because that just does not happen at all. I'm gonna try. That's all I can tell you. I'm gonna try to do what I can as far as like catching people up with stuff, I guess. And if nobody likes, if I don't have like anybody, if there's nobody that's watching it because nobody else is in like wanting to maybe feel a little bit more normal, then maybe I'll just quit. I don't know. I just want to see how kind of things go and go from there. I don't know what the next couple of days will bring. I have no idea. I'm listening to my cat right now because my cat's like flipping out in there for some reason, and it's kind of freaking me out. Jason works midnights, so just me and the kids here, and it kind of scares me. I get a little scared. I don't like ghosts and stuff, so I don't think this place is haunted, though. I don't think it is. The other house we lived in was definitely haunted. Not bad haunted, but it was haunted. This place does not seem yet too bad. We've only been here for a month, so I am going to now, since it's, I don't know, 3 in the morning maybe. I'm on vacation this week. I'm taking my vacation before I leave. I'm going to continue with I do arts and crafts, like probably everybody with ADHD does. It's hard to stay on task though, but I'm trying to get some of mine done so I can make some money before I quit. I want to be able to make, hopefully maybe a couple thousand, put it in the bank. That way I'll have a little bit to fall back on if I'm not making as much with my part-time job, plus my grants and stuff from school. I want to be able to have something to fall back on, but I'm gonna get one of my arts and crafts I make. Hold on. This is Manuela This is Manuela. I just got done with her not too long ago. She's probably got really bad bedhead. Yes, she does. She does have bedhead. She's beautiful. She is beautiful. So I make reborns. She's adorable. I wish I could keep this one. I really do. I like to keep them. I say that about almost all of them, though. Like, I would keep every single one of them if I could. I have a bad habit of wanting to keep every one I make. This one is just so special, though, because what is all over her? I feel like I just got makeup all over her. I probably did, but anyway. For those of you who don't know what a reborn is, they are lifelike dolls. I'm pretty sure everybody in the world knows what a reborn is because they're very popular. I started doing this a couple years ago just because I wanted one for my daughter, and they're super expensive. So I've always kind of been like a little crafty, I guess you could say. So I wanted to see if I could make them. So I researched forever before I actually painted because I didn't want to mess it up. The kits themselves are not cheap. Like this particular one, she's sold out kit. So her kit, just her kit alone was $380. Shh, don't tell Jason. $380 just for the head and the arms and the legs and the body. And then, you know, the paint and everything to make them. And then you have to get the hair. You have to buy the hair to root the hair. She's got messy hair right now. And then, like, to fill them up, you have to buy the polyfill and then the weighted beads. So she's 5 pounds right now. She's 5 pounds. She's so cute. I want a baby so bad. I have 5 of them, and I'm going crazy. Why would I even say that? So, yeah, this actually, baby fever, get a reborn because they help. You just hold on like a crazy person, and they help. Therapy dolls, that's what we like to call them, therapy dolls. And they make really good birthday presents. If you don't have money to buy somebody a birthday present, give them a reborn. Anyway, I think for tonight I'm gonna stop here. Tomorrow, don't know what time, I'll get back on and I will try to make some kind of video. I don't know if I want to introduce you to the kids like gradually or if I want to just do it all because hey, why not, you know, like they don't come gradually, like they just they're all there. So I might surprise you, I don't know. I hate talking to phones. I hate doing this kind of thing, but I really have been wanting to do it for a long time because I want to see where it takes me. I want to see who it can help. I want to see if it can maybe help me. Maybe it'll help me a little bit. Who knows? But for tonight, I'm going to get off here and try to do some work with these. And, oh, well, before that, here goes my ADHD kicking in again. I'll show you what they kind of look like before. Before they're done. Here's just a head. These are 2 of them I'm working on. Yeah, they kind of look scary. That one looks really kind of scary. But a lot of paint, a lot of shadowing, and a lot of veining, and a lot of modeling. And here's a toddler I'm working on. No eyes. That's kind of scary. I know. I'm so sorry. But that's a big baby. Here is... Sorry, I'm getting so close to the camera. Here's one that has actually eyes. Oh, has eyes. Oh, look at his crossed eyes. I like to cross their eyes sometimes because newborns have crossed eyes. We all know this. When they're trying to look at you, their eyes are all crossed and silly looking. But people that sculpt these dolls are amazing. Like, amazing. This one is by Laura Lee. Laura Lee Eagles. She's one of my favorite. Manuela, the one that I showed you first, that's by... I think I can't even pronounce the name right. Raffaella Spendarelli, maybe? I don't know if I'm saying it right. Probably not. And then you got tiny little bitty bitty ones like this. This is Tink, which she's getting redone. This is one of the first ones I did, and that was kind of funky looking, but I'm going to redo her. I'm taking her paint off, and I'm going to redo her because she looks horrible. I got better throughout the years. I have to say I did, but they come with the head, and then they have, you know, obviously 2 legs and 2 arms, and then you got to buy the body separately, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'll show you those a lot, too, because I don't really have anybody that does this. I don't have any friends that reborn, and I don't really have friends, but I don't really have anybody to talk to about it, so I'll probably show you guys a lot. So anyway, everybody have a good night, morning, next day, whenever, and I will see you soon. Bye.